Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our bi-weekly live session. Tonight, what we're going to be talking about is building like a super basic, reliable strength routine for runners in the gym. Yes, we can get fancy. We can, change up the scheme. There's a lot of different ways that we can do this. But my goal tonight is to give my runners, when they go into the gym, and a lot of other athletes, but focusing a little bit more on runners here, just give them a really simple outline of something that they know that they can accomplish, right? So what I like to do is I like to have people pull out their notes app in their phone and just write these things down before they even step foot in the gym, so they already know what categories they're going to be hitting, and they're not just kind of winging it. They already have a plan. So the first thing I have people write down is we're going to pick 1 to 2 plyometric movements that we're going to work through. So this could be like pogos. This could be like a depth drop. I'm okay with us even incorporating some drills into this section if you want to practice some of your running drills. So like to start there, and usually we're going to do this in 3 sets of 3 to 6 reps. They're a little bit more explosive, so we don't really need a ton of them, and your neurological system will fatigue fast off of these, so you don't need much. And then in between each set, you're going to give yourself a lot of rest, more than you think you need, probably 90 seconds to even 3 minutes, depending on how demanding the movement was that we just did. So once we cross that off the list, the next thing that you're going to put into your notes app, we're going to pick 1 to 2 bigger lower body movements. And then one of these I want to be a single leg. So for our double leg movements, we do a squat or a deadlift. We could do any variation of these. We can change up how we do our squats. We could go into a front squat. And then there's a few variations we can do for deadlifts, but we'll get into that a little bit later at a different time. But then for our single leg motions, this could be like a single leg RDL, or this could be, I would even be okay with like a split squat. That would probably be a good one to fit in this category. So you can kind of pick whatever you want, but we want 1 to 2 bigger lower body movements that we're going to fit in this section. So the rep scheme's important here. A lot of people think like, hey, I'm an endurance athlete, so I should be building muscular endurance. And, they want to do 20 reps of something at a really lightweight. That's not the point of this part of your training. The point here is to actually build some strength and some muscle here. So we're going to keep a little bit lower reps, and we're going to load it up a little bit higher than a lot of my runners are really comfortable with at first, but we can build into it. So we'll start with like 3 sets of about 6 to 8 reps. So you should feel like as you get towards the end of the 6 to 8 reps that, you could probably do a couple more if you really wanted to, but you don't have to. And that's how you'll know you're pretty close to the right range there. And in between each of these, you should be giving yourself about like 1 to 2 minutes rest. Okay, so you should be rested and ready to lift something heavy here. All right, so that's our second part. And then we're going to move into our next part that we're going to put in our notes app. We're going to pick 1 upper body movement. So a lot of my runners like to neglect this, and it is important. So if we can work on some efficiency in our upper body, we're going to develop stability and just decrease demand on our lower body as well as, there's a multitude of benefits in terms of metabolism, but again, we won't go there tonight. It's for another day. But again, this is going to be 3 sets of 6 to 8, higher intensity, and it should feel pretty similar. Like you could do a couple more reps, but you're not really interested in doing any more. Okay. So then our next category that we're going to hit is we're going to pick a carry. So this could be like a farmer's carry, a suitcase carry. I like T-Rex walks and creeper walks. Those are some good variations you can put in there as well. So these are really important to help with stability, core strength, and really loading the bone in a manner that's going to look closer to running. So we're prepping your body to sustain the forces that they're going to encounter when they're actually out running, right? So then our last thing that we're going to pick is we're going to pick 1 to 2 accessory motions. This can be like a core or some sort of lower body muscle that you feel the need to work on. So maybe you want to do some side planks to work on your glute med strength. We can throw that in here. Maybe you feel like you need to work on your calf strength, and this is where this is going to go. So if you just want to do some calf raises, this is the category for that. So these are going to be typically a little bit higher reps. Usually we'll do like 3 sets of 10 to 15 or so, and give yourself like 30 to 60 seconds of rest here. But again, this isn't like our big motions like we talked about earlier with our squats and our hinges. This is going to be more just like, let's pick a muscle that we feel like needs a little extra attention, and that's what we're going to work on. All right, so the frequency of doing these workouts matters too. So in an ideal world, we're going to do these about 2 to 3 times a week. And that's going to change. So if we're in like a really intense part of your training, we're going to be more like 2 times a week, maybe even once a week if it's like right before a competition. And if we're in like a base and building phase, this might look more like 3 times a week. So it does change based on where you're at in that training cycle. And then, you know, the workout format that I'm giving you here is just like a safe outline that you can follow and feel pretty confident you're hitting a good quantity of what you need to hit. But there are some nuances here. So I'd love to talk with people who have questions, so feel free to message me. But just, you know, generally speaking, as we get closer towards like a competition season, this format might change a little bit, where we're doing a little bit higher intensity, but lower reps. We might be adding in a little bit more plyometrics. So there are some changes that can be helpful to add in there. But as a general rule, this is a pretty safe outline that you can make sure you're actually having a productive session in the gym. So that is all that I had planned to talk about tonight. Feel free to message me if you guys have any questions. Oh, and just wanted to mention too, to keep an eye out sometime this summer or so, we're going to start launching some like strength workouts and fitness classes for runners specifically that they can access online. And we'll have more information on about that, but just keep your eyes peeled because it's a really exciting opportunity that we're going to have for you guys. So if you're on the go or you have a hard schedule where you can't make it to a class, then these will be something you can rely on. So keep your eyes peeled and let us know if you have any questions about any of this content, and we'll talk to you a little bit later. Bye.